Hi everybody, today I would like to talk about Mastodon's 1113, Dan Acupuncture Point. Dan Acupuncture Point 1113 is located on the middle finger on the proximal phalange. It is a two-point set distributed on the radial and the ulnar side of the midline of this phalange. The point reaction area is the gallbladder nerve and heart assistant nerve. This indicates that the point will treat imbalances between the heart and the gallbladder, between the Shao Yin and the Shao Yang. The name Dan means gallbladder, and in Chinese there is a saying, Xiao Dan, which means a person who does not have courage. So this emphasizes that the pathology is of a deficiency type of a gallbladder and a heart. This point treats deficiency type of the gallbladder and the heart qi, but we can also use it for excessive hot flame situations. The indications will be, for example, first, emotionally, fright or fear, or a person who does not have courage. He can be easily frightened and he can have a lot of dreams and a sleep disturbance. So Dan Acupuncture Point first will treat emotional disturbance. The second thing that we need to remember is that this point balances the gallbladder. So we can choose it in digestive problems. When we have a stomach gallbladder relationship, will be manifested in fullness in the abdomen. For these kind of problems, we can add the Ziqian jing and Ziwu jing that are located here, and also the Sihua Shang, Sihua Zhong, and Sihua Xia. Another indication for Dan is crying in the night of little children. Why? We know that sometimes children cry at night since they have an imbalance of the middle jaw. It can be a digestive problem, and it can also be from emotional problem. And from a palm diagnosis, this middle finger reflects the spleen and the heart, meaning that this area will treat heart and spleen disorders, and we can diagnose also heart and spleen disorder when we see a color change or we can see veins. So Dan is on this middle finger, and it can influence the digestive or the earth through the relationship of the spleen and the stomach. Another aspect for Dan is from a mirroring point of view. If we look at this middle finger, we can mirror it to our leg. And this middle point, the junction between the proximal phalange and the middle phalange, will be, for example, the knee. That is why we can choose Dan Acupuncture Point with Shin Shi 1109 in order to treat knee pain. So Dan Acupuncture Point will treat first emotional disturbance from the relationship of the heart and gallbladder. It can treat digestive problems. It will treat also dizziness and gallbladder channel imbalances symptoms. and it can also be combined with Shen 1109 for knee pain. I choose Dan point a lot in situation of menopause or in situation of PMS, usually for emotional or dizziness problems, when I see the connection of the gallbladder and the heart from a deficiency type or an excess type, and then I will add more points. So try to think about Dan acupuncture point in emotional state in an easily frightened patient when we have a deficiency or an excess situation. So how do we puncture? So Dan acupuncture point will be located on the proximal phalange. We first locate the midpoint and then we go to the ulnar and radial sides of this midpoint and we puncture. We don't puncture the bone, we puncture the side of the bone. So first I locate the midpoint and then I will go on the ulnar side first. And then I will choose the radial side. The needling is 0.2 Fen, so it is very shallow. The point can also be bled if you see a dark vein. So this is Dan acupuncture point 1113.